Over the last 6.5 years of doing YouTube and buying and selling guitars as my own business, I've gotten to play a whole lot of brands brand new out of the box. And unfortunately, one thing that I see is a common trend with the majority of the guitars, unfortunately. It's not every brand, but a lot of brands are suffering from this because they're putting quantity over quality. They're not playable out of the box. Yeah, the guts might be really good once you get the thing set up, but you take the thing out of the box, you're excited to play your new guitar, in my case, just do a demonstration and get right into it. But no, you got to put it on the workbench and you got to immediately start doing work. Why is that? I'll touch on that briefly now, and then I'll go more into detail a little bit later in the video perhaps. But it's all about money. Time, money, and really giving a damn about the customers, honestly, because it says a lot. Costs money to have techs individually go over each individual guitar before it goes out. So when a brand does have specialists, luthiers in-house, that make sure every single guitar gets attention and make sure it's going to play well out of the box, that speaks volumes about how they value the customer. One of those brands is a brand that I've had on here a few times and I've had nothing but success. They don't know I'm making this video today. It's Reverend. We're going to take one straight out of the box. I'm going to show you that it's still sealed. And we're going to check a few things as far as the setup goes. And we're going to go from there. Box has not been tampered with. We're going to go ahead. We're going to open it up. We're not doing the gear demo thing today. We're only going to be inspecting the important things. Oh, you are light. Alright, so this is a King bolt, HH. Now, a few things I want to go over here. I want to check the frets, I'm going to check the action, I'm going to make sure it plays all right, and we're going to make sure that the thing is actually intonated. That's a big one. That gets skipped by a lot of people. So let's go ahead. I'll grab myself a cable that I happen to have here. I'm going to go right into the tuner first after I strum a few chords just to see if it's actually comfortable out of the box or if it's in tune. That's pretty close. A little flat on a few strings. Go ahead and tune it up real quick, and then we'll check intonation. Alright, we're in tune. Sounds good though. I could play this way to set up right now, but okay, check the intonation. So do that by open, then the E string at the 12th fret. I laugh for a second because this is something that's one of the most basic and important things to get right on the setup is to make sure the guitar is properly intonated. You take a guitar that's not properly intonated into a studio, the engineer is going to tell you to grab a different guitar. He's not going to have the patience for you. I've had that happen before with a bass. It wasn't cool because I actually really liked that bass, but I didn't set it up right before it went in. Getting this small detail right is not, I wish I could say it's 100% of the time with every brand, but it's not. So we're off to a really good start with this. I already kind of briefly played it a little bit just to get, an idea after just making sure it was in tune. And the setup on this, action's a little bit higher than I would like it, but I could play this as is. If you asked me to play a show with it. That'd be good. I would just twist the truss rod a little bit. So let's go ahead. I'm going to move a little bit. Let's move with me, all right? We're being fluid today. We're going from one camera to the other. Okay. Move this over. So the first thing that I notice immediately here, and we'll move the light too with us. You can do it. All right, cool. Look at the frets themselves. They're shiny. Actually, fretwork was done. No sharp fret edges. Thing feels like $1,000,000 bucks. Now I need the vibrato arm. Yeah, I forget. One of the things about these Wilkinson's bridges, you got a million different size adjustments, screws, Allens. So let's make sure we get the right one for the arm, and then we'll go from there. Nope. Perfect. All right. So next thing I'm going to test, we're going to see if there's any binding at the neck. When I use the vibrato, I push down on it, you'll hear clinking if there's anything. So not only is there no high-pitched pinging up here, there's none at the bridge saddles themselves. And the guitars, I don't have the tuner plugged right into it, and these strings haven't been stretched. I'm going to do it right now before we go any further. And this is something that, regardless of what kind of guitar we're talking about here, if you buy one new or you do a string change, I highly recommend stretching the strings out like this. It's a trick I saw Paul Gilbert do years ago, and especially guitars that have a vibrato, it's a godsend. But if you're wondering why I think that this is personally such a big deal while I'm kind of just doing this, I think that having a guitar well set up out of the box, for somebody like me, it's not a deal breaker. Because I've set up and I've worked on guitars, I know what I like, I have the tools to be able to do it, and to me, it's not that big of a deal, but I look at it from two other sorts of lenses, so to speak. The number one thing, for me at least, I think about somebody who's investing their money right now into a brand new instrument. And perhaps they don't have any of the tools, any of the know-how, or they just don't want to. Maybe they just want to be a guitarist. There was a time that's all I wanted to do, especially when I was younger. I didn't give a shit about anything other than just playing music. All right, let's move the camera back over to here, mainly. All right. One last thing I want to test here. Guitar already plays great. I could go this thing tonight, but this vibrato actually going to stay in tune if I want to abuse it. So make sure we're in tune to begin with. Tuner's not going to lie. All right. Perfect. That speaks for itself. This is a brand new set of strings. I only gave it a light stretch, but because the vibrato was so well set up, I was hammering on it. I held it down like a straight up dive bomb. Stays in tune already. And I love that. I love that I can count on that. And I love that when you're buying a Reverend guitar, each person is going to sign it at the top here. And they're going to have a serial number on it. And people will say, oh, well, you YouTubers, they always go out of their way to set things up for you guys. You guys always get the best of the best. Let me tell you something. I have worked with some major brands where you would have thought that was the case. That is not the case. Not the case at all. And what's different about Reverend is the same four guys, Zach, Brian, John, and James. I think those are the names of the four luthiers that do the setups for Reverend. They do them for every single guitar. Doesn't matter if it's going to me. It doesn't matter if it's going to Zounds. It doesn't matter if it's going to Billy freaking Corgan himself so he can go play a tour. They all get the same treatment. And that's rare in this industry, dude. It really is. And I say that with firsthand. And I'm not sitting here trying to bash anybody. I'm certainly not. There's lots of great guitar brands out there. I'm a big fan of a lot of guitars. But it's the little things. And in this day and age when stuff is, it's expensive, and it is important to try and make a decision about where you want to give your money to. A company that thinks forward, that puts the customer first, that makes sure the customer out of the box is going to have something that they can rely on to go out and work with immediately. I could take this out tonight, no problems. I don't need to touch another thing on this guitar. I'd be very confident to do so. That's worth something to me. Let me know what you think. What's the most you've ever spent on a guitar where the setup was just god-awful? If you want a name, you can go ahead. Or if you've had any experience with Reverend guitars, let me know if you have been as lucky as I have. Because again, I think this is the 5th one that I've got to unbox, as in the first person to do it from other sorts of demos and stuff like that. And they've all been like this. And it doesn't matter if it's a Bigsby or like this Wilkinson. This is the 2-point vibrato system on it. They're all so stable. The fretwork is always great on them. The frets have a good shine. The nuts are cut well, which is super freaking important. Doesn't matter which vibrato it is. The nuts cut wrong, you're screwed. They get everything right as far as the important parts of the setup, and that's worth something to me. Thanks for watching today's video. Yeah, we'll do a full-on demo. I purposely didn't power on the Z because I want to save the actual meat and potatoes of the guitar itself for its own sort of thing, because it deserves it. And I absolutely love this color. I've been trying so hard not to talk about it. Tim, you really nailed it with the designs for this year. Thanks to Reverend for sending me over this guitar, and you'll be seeing a lot more of it in the near future. Until then, I'll see you all on the next video. Take care.